Hey guys, happy Wednesday to everyone. I wanted to pop on because I wanted to chat about, y'all are gonna get a kick out of this, the tea spillers of our community. It's gonna be an honest chat about my thoughts on it and just my thoughts and feelings on it. It's a topic that I have thought about speaking on for a really long time, mainly because I've been at the center of a lot of tea spilling over the years in certain videos or on certain channels. And I find it to be a very interesting topic that a lot of people tend to use, some in the right way, some not so much. So I just want to chat about it. So if you're not aware when we use the term spilling tea means, it's usually like, some juicy, generally we think of like juicy information about somebody, but most of the time, it can be done in multiple different ways. And what do I mean by that? Like, it can be done in a lighthearted, fun-spirited way, or it can, that's the good end of the spectrum. And then it can also go all the way into really hurtful, spiteful, misinformation, non-truthful information about people. And so I want to talk about the gamut of that. And the reason why I really want to talk about this, and I have for quite some time, is not only because I've been at the center of a lot of tea spilling over the years, not so much lately, but years ago I was, the focus of one particular larger channel's tea spilling. So I understand what it feels like to be on the end of, receiving such tea about myself that may or may not be truthful. And I'm seeing also that those titles in those videos, they get a lot of attention. This video may get a lot of attention, but it may be for different reasons. The title will draw you in, of course, but I'm going to talk about my feelings, and I want your feedback as well, because you guys are great at giving feedback, and I appreciate understanding, how you do feel about these topics that we talk about, because I think it's important for us as channel creators to understand how our viewers feel about the topics we put out there. And this is one that seems to be a very hot topic, and I'm talking like super hot topic. Like, channels that generally are unseen for the most part will get tons of views, or if they do a live stream, if it's not a video, it's a live stream, and then the video stays up, I've noticed that those get the most views of current videos put out. So to me, that says a lot. It says a lot that a lot of people are drawn to that. There are a lot of people, we talk about like the drama in the community, and people don't want to see it, and yet it's a contradiction, because those videos that are talking about drama or juicy information, or even some really bad information that might be really bad for someone's reputation, they're still watching. So even though we like to think that we don't want to participate in something like that, we generally, it's human nature. If something looks really juicy or interesting, or, oh, what's someone know about this person, we tend to flock to it. I'm guilty of it as well. Not always, but sometimes it sparks my curiosity and it draws me in, and I want to know what someone's talking about, because sometimes, and I will start by saying that there are some channels that do this topic very well, and when they use the terms in their titles, they are truly giving really good information about what's happening in the doll community, or could be scammer alerts. It could be really good information that we need to know and we want to know, and it's done in, a factual way. I'm a fan of those channels that take factual information and spill the tea and talk about things that have been happening and that we all want to follow up on and hear about. Those are the types of channels that I really have a huge respect for when they choose to take on topics like that. And then there are other channels that do it in such a light, fun lighthearted way, and you know, they're kind of poking fun at some of the things going on, and it's not done in a way to damage someone's reputation. I also enjoy when those types of channels put that type of, you know, spilling tea videos out. But then we have others that do it in a way that I'm bothered by it. And the reason why I'm bothered by it is because when particular channels, especially like smaller channels that may not be seen, when they're choosing to put that title and talk about, either in a video or in a live stream, spilling tea about somebody, and they're not pulling factual information. It's done out of spite. It's done out of maybe a failed friendship. There are many reasons why certain people will speak about others in the community in a way that is trying to damage their reputation, and it's not factual or truthful information. And that's where I want to know your feedback. Like, to me, I just want to know, do you guys think that's acceptable? Like, in this day and age, and I say this a lot, like, we're in a place where we should be a little bit more conscious of the things we say and we put out there publicly, that we have to be careful, because there could be, you know, consequences for the things that we say. I mean, there's consequences for our actions, but there's also consequences for potential things that you may be saying that are not truthful. And that's the thing that I don't quite understand, when people boldly say statements, especially if they knowingly put out statements that they know for sure are not truthful, and they're doing it to hurt somebody because they're, you know, because we see friendships go bad in our community. It's happened to me, it's happened to my friends, it's happened to like everybody in the community. If you're here long enough, you're gonna probably have a falling out with somebody. It's nature of these relationships that we have online. It just happens. And some people like to take that, you know, lost friendship, upset feelings, scorned feelings, you know, feeling like they're, you know, mad about something because, you know, they're no longer friends with us, and they take it public. And then they choose to make videos or live streams about a person that they used to be friends with. And I'm not a fan of that. I don't think that that's right. I think that it's something that people should refrain from doing. And I want to know your thoughts on that. Like, I am never a person who thinks that airing your dirty laundry, whether it's personal or doll related, should be put out there for all of us to see. We come into the hobby and we really want to enjoy the hobby. We want to come for fun. And then, you know, if it's fun spilling tea and we want to know like something big is happening or something juicy fun is happening, we're all here for that. I'm here for that. But we really need to be careful how we choose to speak about other people that could damage their reputations. And I would like to know your feedback. I want to know your thoughts, your feelings on something of that nature. Do you participate? Because here's the other side of that. So when it's fun and you're having, especially with the live stream where you're having a chat back and forth and people are talking about behind the, you know, on the sidelines as the person is conducting their live stream, speaking on it. And then you have this full-on conversation going on, and a lot of people engage in conversation and they join in, not necessarily understanding that what they're engaging in may be very damaging to someone's reputation in the community, because they're not aware or they don't know that person well enough to really have a judgment, or, you know, they don't know if it's the truth, but they're joining in and it's fueling the fire. And that's one of my things I don't like about live streams, is that a lot of people hop on because it's juicy, it's fun, and oh, I want to get in on this conversation. And then you see a lot of like mean, nasty, engaging conversations about a person that started with non-factual information. That to me is just Not a good thing. It's not a good thing for our community, but it's also the fact that, like I said, there are consequences when you speak about somebody and it's not factual and you're just trying to damage their reputation or say hurtful things. And I don't know what the end game is there other than to damage that person's reputation. And I have a hard time with that. I have a really hard time with that because I've been at the root of it. Not recently, like I said, but years ago, I was being called different names and being called out for being like a doll flipper and taking advantage or making money on sales and things like that. And that affected me personally because it made people think twice whether they want to buy a doll from me if they think I'm price gouging, which I am very transparent about. This is what I pay for a doll. If I sell the doll from a while, I'll put it out there. You know, I had ways to deal with it, but at the time, I was feeling very hurt by the fact that people would want to put that information out there about me because, one, it was not true, and people were making assumptions. Assumptions are never good. You know, it's not good to assume things about people, especially things that can damage their reputation. We have to be very careful about that. I think that it's always good to err on the side of caution. Like, be aware that if you're spilling tea about somebody else in the community and it could affect their business if they have a business in the community, if they are buying or selling dolls, it can affect whether or not people will sell to them or buy from them. Like you should be conscious and aware of those before you spill your tea about somebody. And frankly, if you have a falling out with somebody, I highly recommend you do not take it public. As much as you think people want to hear about that, or maybe it's for financial gain that you just want the views. And I think that's a lot of reasons why people do these types of videos. Try to refrain. It's only going to make it worse because the perception of people that put out bad information or talk about somebody and you know, truth always comes out. It's really how I feel about it. Like if you're speaking ill about somebody, the general public are going to be smart enough overall in the community to understand that, that person's track record, they used to be friends with this person, but suddenly they're not talking very kindly about them and or putting out really hurtful, awful, damaging information. People will put two and two together that, oh, that's a scorned friendship. And then it just makes you look bad if you're the one out there making that type of video. I've seen it across the board happen. I'm not speaking in general to one particular channel or about one particular channel. I'm seeing it for years. And when people put their dirty laundry of broken friendships, personal things happening in their life, posting it everywhere. I don't know whether it's for sympathy, empathy. I'm not sure why people do these things, but I think that it's always a good idea to err on the side of caution and keep your private life private. I get that the community is there as a support system, but when you constantly see people posting their personal issues and potential friendship issues all the time, you got to kind of see the pattern there. And those are the people that also may be the ones spilling tea. So you have to be wise enough if you're going to engage in these types of conversations, if it's a live stream or in the comment section of a video, make sure you know the story, because most of us don't know the story behind the tea that's being spilled in these situations. And I fear that it's just bad for everybody involved. It just never ends well. And here's the thing, like I then see the people that have gone and spilled the tea about somebody literally weeks later going and making a public apology because they spilled the tea and they know they were wrong and they're now feeling bad about it. And like, then if you were participating in the comments or in a conversation in the chat, you know, people, if that person that was spoken badly about will now think badly of you because you participated and spoke badly of them, not knowing the situation. Like it just gets muddy. It gets very, it turns into a hot mess. That's a good way to put it. And so, you know, as much as it is so tempting to make a video spilling tea, especially if you know something about somebody or you think you know something about somebody, just be aware of the consequences and the potential fallout that could happen in those types of videos. Because someone is, you know, if it's mean-spirited and it seems a little harsh or seems kind of, that doesn't feel right, it's because it's not. And you just, I feel like, and I want your feedback. So I want you guys to share how you feel about these types of videos when you come across them. Do you watch them? Do you participate in them? Do you think they're fun? And it matters what the topic is and who, you know, what the tea is, who the tea is about. Because sometimes it's just, like I said, there are channels that do great tea spilling in our community, and I'm all here for it, you know, but I'm talking about the other side of that spectrum, the ones that you know could really damage someone's reputation. I want to know how you guys feel about it, because to me, it's just, it really is something that I see more and more happening, especially because it gets views. People are flocking to those. People that normally don't get many views on their videos regularly, and then they do a tea spilling sort, and you see that the numbers fly. And then you're like, okay, but we don't like drama in our community, so why are they getting the views? So that's why I wanted to chat, and I want to get your feedback. I want to know how you guys feel about it. Those are my thoughts on it. And I think we need to be conscious and aware before we go and open our mouths about another person, either within the community or outside of the community. We have to be very careful. We have to be careful, because trust me, if you take a moment and understand for a second and think, what would that feel like if it were about you? That's where people start to maybe understand, because it's fun at first because it's not about you. But imagine for a moment if that person were speaking about you in that way. How would it make you feel publicly? That draws the most attention. And then you wonder, like, will people believe this? Thing is, most of the time when people are being, being scorned or hurt by something and they take it publicly, most likely you're going to find that information about the person they're talking about isn't even true. Truth always comes out, but essentially the damage is already done if you're trying to hurt someone's reputation and you make people question that person's reputation. That's just never a good thing. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody in our community. I certainly don't want it to happen to me, but I also don't want it to happen to anybody else out there, because it's hard to come back from that if someone does damage to your reputation, because it's everything in our community. You know, we're constantly buying and selling. So if someone questions what we're doing or our credibility, our morals, like any of that stuff can affect us within the doll community. And it's hard, like I said, to come back from that if people start questioning it. So being conscious of that before you dive in and participate in the tea spilling within the community, it's something you should maybe refrain from. Trust me, I've been part of those live streams. I've participated and I've regretted it after the fact, and not recently, but once upon a time. And I learned my lesson that if someone's having a feud and they're bringing out something nasty about another person, I don't want to be involved in that, because one, most of the time I don't know the facts because I wasn't there, and neither were you. You know, only the two people involved know what really happened. So listening to one person's side or one person's, not so nice comments or accusations, not a good thing, because there's always another side to the story and we'll never know. So staying out of it is always the safe bet. I think that's important for people to think about when they go into a live stream and want to be part of a chat that may be talking about somebody. Unless you know the facts, it's best not to speak on it. And none of us know the facts generally, especially about relationships that go bad, things that are happening that it's, it could be just, hearsay, heard a rumor, you gotta be able to wade through all the nonsense and all the shade, and understand that most of the time people put their own spin on things because they're trying to accomplish something, and ultimately it just leads to I want more views on my videos because it draws people in. Know the audience, know who the person is that, you know, if they're a regular tea spiller and they say a lot about a lot of people and then they come back and they apologize and they're just all over the place, maybe refrain from engaging in that. Because it usually is that there are the same people that tend to make these types of videos, and, you know, I don't want to be a part of that. I truly mean when I say that I don't want to be part of drama or, you know, the troubles that may be between people when it's brought publicly. I don't like to involve myself because it's not my business. And I truly do like to follow what I preach. And hopefully by sharing this, others out there will start to say, okay, well, this person tends to do, you know, a lot of speaking about different people in bad ways. Do I want to engage? Do I want to participate? I'm going to refrain. And I'm hoping that will be the case because, like I said, the takeaway is we have to be careful what we say about people. We don't want to hurt people, even if we're mad. That's why I never make a video when I'm mad. Like, it just would never be good. I don't recommend anybody making a video if they're angry or upset at somebody. It's just never ends well. It's just one of those things that you're just like, it's just, no, it's just not a good thing. Just don't do it. You know, take time, reflect, calm down, and then, you know, if you still want to talk about something, do it in a way that's not out of anger. And I think that too many people go on and make videos out of spite and anger because they're upset. It's just not a good thing. So that's the takeaway, is that, you know, don't participate in that type of nonsense because you might be participating in really doing some damage to somebody's reputation. And I don't think anybody's out to do that in our community. So yeah, just share your thoughts though. I really truly want to hear what you guys think. I want to know if you participate in it. And I'm not going to scold you if you do, because I have as well. I'm saying that we all get drawn into that sort of thing. But I'm curious to know your thoughts, whether you tend to watch those and just don't comment, or do you watch them and you do participate in them from time to time? And, you know, and I'm not talking about the lighthearted stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that's damaging to people. And just get your thoughts on it. And, you know, this is like the first time I've put the words I've never used spilling the tea in my title until now. All these years, I've never done this type of video. I've wanted to talk about it, but I just refrained, but I'm like, now is a good time. But I've never used it in my title, so this is the first time. We'll see how many views. It's kind of a little bit of a test, and let's see how many views this video gets. I mean, I'll be curious to see if this actually sparks some good conversation, because I think it's a good topic and something we should be talking about as a community. So there's my topic, guys. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate any of the feedback, and I think that's it for me today. I hope you guys are having a great day. We had snow yesterday, and today it's nice, sunny, warm. There's no more snow. It went away very quickly, and it's going to be actually a beautiful day. So, you know, that's a spring in upstate New York. It is what it is. So I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you all soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.